A week on from Formula One's blast around the sand dunes in Zandvoort, we move over to round 16 of the season, back to the home of the Tifosi. It's the Italian Grand Prix here at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. It's round 16 of the season then. Max Verstappen not winning a race then in over 2 months. By the time Sunday rolls around, it will be September. But can he get his first win in 5 races? That's going to be the question. After that, we move over to middle of September. We will go to Azerbaijan, back-to-back with Singapore. October then goes in with a month's break before we head to the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Mexico follows after, then a week later we go to November with Brazil. A little bit of a gap before back stateside to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And then November takes us into December with Qatar, and the season rounds out on the 8th of December in Abu Dhabi. Max Verstappen leads the title, 295 points, but Lando Norris is closing him in, 225 points to him. Charles Leclerc is now in a battle with Oscar Piastri, 192 to 179. They're followed closely by Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton with 2 victories and 4 points last time out has now put him in 6th place. Sergio Perez is just holding off George Russell over 7th and 8th. Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll and Nico Hülkenberg appear at the first page, closely in a battle, just 2 points separating them. On the second page, Yuki Tsunoda has 22 points. He's 10 clear to Daniel Ricciardo. Pierre Gasly now finally ahead of Oliver Bearman after getting 2 points last time out at Zandvoort. But then it's Magnussen ahead of Ocon, level on points. Albon a point behind them. Zhou, no points for him so far, neither for Bottas. Sargent is out, replaced by Franco Colapinto. In the Constructors' Championship, it's hotting up. Just 30 points between Red Bull and McLaren at the front, 434 to 404. Ferrari are on their own, no one else around them. Then we get Mercedes in 4th position. Then over 201 points back, we actually go to Aston Martin in 5th, who are well clear. But it's a battle for 6th, that's interesting. RB, Haas closing in on each other. Alpine getting their act together. Williams now with a new driver line to see how they're going to go in the last 9 races. And Kick Sauber still with no points on the board. Let's take a look at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza here at the Royal Park in Italy. It's been on the calendar since 1950, a fan, driver and just about everyone's favourite, the Temple of Speed. Get a good exit out of the last corner and fire down towards the line. DRS open, 8th gear maximum. It's a long run down to turn 1 at the Rettifilio. Make sure that the car is perfectly balanced before you slam on the brakes at around about 70 metres. Into the right, left Rettifilio. Back on the power from 1st gear very gingerly as you head down, round the Curve de Grande. A long sweeping right-hander, ever building up the speed into 8th gear. Flat out maximum. Another heavy braking zone into the second chicane, the Dalla Roggia chicane. Braking 100 metres, flip the car left, right, back over the bump. Don't put a wheel on the gravel as you head down. Slightly banked is the right-hander Lesmo 1. It sort of feeds you in 5th gear, rising up towards Lesmo 2. A lot tighter, right-hander as well, downhill section of the track as you cut now with the second DRS zone. Maximum 8th gear, down underneath the old banking section as you head towards the Ascari chicane. Quick flick to the left, down from 8th gear all the way to 5th. Carry a lot of speed in, the traction will carry you flat out as you head down after Ascari towards the Parabolica. No DRS in this section as well. If you want to overtake, you have to use your ERS battery deployment. Flick the car in then as well, light dampen the brakes down to 5th gear into the Parabolica. Carry up the speed, use as much exit as you're allowed as you hurtle down across the line to complete the lap. It's a short track, but it's a fan favourite. That is a lap of Monza. Wonderful Monza is host once again to round 16 of the FIA Formula One World Championship here in 2024. Welcome to the Cathedral of Speed as we get ready for all the action coming up shortly. Well, alongside me in the commentary box for this session once again is Omi, who's had a very busy day. I wasn't going to do this session, but nobody else is here. So I'm back in as well to finalise. We're all pretty knackered at the end of today, Omi, but you've had some great qualifyings to call today.
Yep, some great qualifying for Formula 3 and Formula 2, even though in Formula 2 the format didn't work. Formula 2 we kept having delays, red flags and all sorts going on with that. So yeah, been a very dramatic day so far, but it's time to end it off with some FP2.
Yeah, we thought we might not have TV pictures for the start of this session. I might have to use BBC Radio 5 Live. However, it looks like it's just come back on for us as well. So that is the first bit of good news we've had all day, because the Skybox Inside failed as well. And yeah, that means that also that's now not worked either, which means we've got to do that. Oh, it's just numerous chaos. Anyway, let's talk about Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Sixth fastest in the F2 session after crashing this morning in FP1 of Formula 1. Great comeback from him. But this morning it was very tricky down at the Parabolica. I think he'll take comfort from the fact that several other drivers got caught out, including Franco Colapinto.
Yes, absolutely. And it also seemed like he was really trying to make a statement. He was pushing the car immediately from the start all the way to the edge, which is why he did have that accident, did Kimi Antonelli. He was really going for it, really wanted to show what he can do, and unfortunately just a little bit too much over the limit. But yeah, everyone has been struggling through that part of the lap so far, so hopefully it will be a bit of confidence. Mercedes has done well to try calm him down, get himself back ready, and it seems like in Formula 2 he was driving like he's always done, has Kimi Antonelli, with the machinery that he has, beating Oliver Behrman once again.
Yeah, Behrman down in 7th on the grid as well for tomorrow's races in Formula 2. Well, that'd be Sunday's reverse grid pole. Who's got it in F2?
I think it's Fittipaldi and Cordial, the front row.
Well, that's going to end in tears, isn't it, as well, to come into it? So, yeah, it's going to be looking good. Red Bull, let's talk about them quickly. Max Verstappen, a few offs at Rettifilio. Looks like he's got some mojo back, top the session with a 121 this morning. Sorry, 110 this morning. Do you reckon he's actually up there? He'll actually get in for the second session? Or are McLaren and Ferrari going to come right up to them again?
Definitely hard to say. McLaren looking very looking a little bit more worse compared to what we've seen so far. Red Bull looking good. They'll be hoping to continue that. Ferrari also with their upgrades. It'll be interesting to see how they get on in FP2.
Here's Simon with the latest. That's not going to be Simon with the latest at the moment as well, because they're showing a feature quickly coming into it. So I guess we'll get ready and show you the constructors. Not much between their Red Bull and McLaren, just 30 points in total. Now without Logan Sargent though, is Colapinto going to kneel down in this session and try and get as many points as he possibly can? In terms of, points on reference data ready for Sunday.
Yep, absolutely. He's going to be trying to nail all the data he can get, and he'll be trying to get himself fully prepared and ready for the weekend that is ahead on on a track which Williams go very quickly at from the evidence of previous years as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wait and see what Toto Wolff is going to make on the Mercedes being ready in time for George Russell. It looks like they've got that car repaired. Wasn't too much damage, thankfully. We're getting all set then. Here's Simon with the latest.
Having to be note perfect if they're to chase down Max Verstappen for the drivers. 70 points separating the two at the moment. We're live the second practice session. Following us straight away is the F1 show from 5:15. Tomorrow, practice 3 from 11:15. Qualifying is from 2:15. 3 o'clock start for quali. And on Sunday, 12:30, race getting underway at 2 o'clock here in Monza. Let's head upstairs to Karoon and to David Croft.
The second practice session for the Formula One Pro Elite Gran Premio d'Italia is about to get underway here at magnificent Monza. Been on the calendar on and off since the season began in 1950, and now here once again, all set for round 16 of the season. Located in the National Royal Park here of Monza, this circuit used to be an oval. It was then transformed in the late 1960s amid safety concerns to include an outfield section, and now that has become the main priority. It's full throttle for over 70% of the lap. Elevation change here is at 12.48 metres. 11 turns, top speed 225 mile an hour. Pirelli have brought the softest tyre compound to this circuit as well. It's the C5 for soft, C4 for medium and C3 for hard tyres. But with a new surface here, it's providing that the tyre degradation is actually a lot more than what people first thought. And we welcome you up to the commentary box then for the start of this second practice session here for the Italian Grand Prix. We look down at the Parabolica, brand new tarmac. It's just itching Omi, who's joins me in the commentary box, to get some more grip laid down. And we've had a feisty day so far across all categories as we're now ready for practice 2. A crucial hour to get the running in what will be similar times to the race tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Critical session for these drivers and teams to get all the data nailed down as well before they head into the race that is taking place on Sunday, still at FP3 as well tomorrow. But I think we'll get a better idea of how the pace, how the order, how everything is looking going into tomorrow as well. So an interesting FP2, a critical FP2 coming up for the teams and the drivers.
Does look fantastic, doesn't it, as well? And there's the Sky F1 commentary box, which has had some information put into it since this morning by David Croft as well.
So Ferrari have...
Okay, I thought he was going to talk about the new commentary box there as well. It is, I understand, a brand new commentary box this weekend that has been shoved in. And it's just opposite the start. It's just alongside the final corner now, the commentary box is here. So it's on pit entry, where the temporary boxes are located. While, because the Monza commentary boxes, the old ones, dated back to the 70s, were condemned a couple of years ago after the flooding. So they've been knocked down, and thankfully so, because they were horrible. So they've now got temporary boxes alongside the pit entry here at Monza. And there'll be a new grandstand built and a new area once all the funding's come in. A lot of work going on though down at Mercedes to come in to see if we get through. What do you think though, Omi? Do you reckon we should be okay and get out, no worries?
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see as they all head onto the circuit as well, but the constructors looking interesting, the drivers looking very interesting, both championships as well, and I think we absolutely could see Lando Norris closing the gap on Max Verstappen in the championship if he continues like this. But McLaren need to be perfect as well, and to disappointment of course of Mercedes with the crash of Antonelli earlier on, but they are working very hard to repair the car of Russell.
Absolutely. Let's take a listen to Ted Kravitz then, who's down in the pit lane as well, going to give us all the news and views in this next hour of practice. And Max Verstappen getting ready to head out, Franco Colapinto watching him as well to get going. So cars are ready at the end of the pit lane, 30 seconds to go until the start of the session. Valtteri Bottas watching on as well, should be quite good coming into it. Bottas watching on, eyes focused. If he's going out straight away, that would be the question. There is George Russell, ready to head back out. Let's hear from Ted. Ted, is he going out?
Hello, Crofty. Hello, Karun, everybody from the pit lane. Yes, it's absolutely scorching. Where is George Russell? He's standing in the middle of the garage. But yeah, it's 34 degrees here at the moment. You could fry some pancetta on this pit lane surface. Actually, you can't because it's white and so it reflects. But if I turn it on the lovely dark new tarmac there, I'm sure you could fry an uovo, as they call them in Italian, or is it an uvo? Anyway, it's very hot, and that means it's been very hard and hot work for all the mechanics and their Mercedes black t-shirts in the garage. It's much hotter than 34 degrees in there, even though it's in the shade, and they have had to cancel lunch and every other bit of leave that they had because it's been all hands to the pump here to get this car turned round in what I think is going to be about 6 or 7 minutes. They're just putting the finishing touches. You can see the setup and calibration rig is still on the front axle and the rear, and they're just doing the measurements at the back. So that always signals that they've done rebuilding it. They just have to make sure it's legal. They don't fall into any kind of Williams style, it turns out that the diffuser's too wide or whatever positions. So yeah, not too long to go until George, who you saw there keeping his cool, can get out on track.
Thank you very much, Ted Kravitz down there as well. Field is running and they are heading out there as well. We're running on board with Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Got a chance to win this weekend, don't we? But podiums, yes, in the last 5 races. He's had 3 of them. But he's got to be stronger than that, hasn't he? He's got to be second, got to be first. But then that takes away points on Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. He's waving to the fans, but can he be lifting that arm in victorious triumph later on?
That is the question. I think last race was good from Leclerc and Sainz both. The car that they had, Ferrari have not been having the best of cars lately, but they have brought quite a bit of updates as they usually do to Monza. They're always strong around their circuit. That is what they'll be hoping is the case this weekend as well. Pretty solid in FP1. We'll wait and see what FP2 is going to be like. We're going to find our answer out in the next hour or so as well, as Brian watches on currently, the race engineer for Charles Leclerc, as we will make our way through the Parabolica now and go on the attack on this Monza circuit once again.
This is Franco Colapinto as he heads down towards turn number 1 at the Rettifilio. He's going at about 8th gear, 341 kilometers an hour, slaps on the brakes, down into about 3rd gear, 80 kilometers an hour maximum. Back on the acceleration as he comes round the long, sweeping right-hander at the Cur de Grande. Downhill to another heavy braking zone, this time the Dalla Rosia chicane, a left-right flick with gravel waiting at the exit if you make a mistake. He's got through that perfectly though. Now the double right, Lesmo 1, it's half banked on entry, swoop the car in, gently put the throttle down into Lesmo 2. Watch the curb at the exit, he's done that. Now underneath the banking to the original Monza circuit, down to the Ascari chicane, 9, 10, 11, flick through, left, back on the power mid-corner, through the right, left again, and then down the back straight towards the Parabolica. It's very good lap here actually for Colapinto. Only his 2nd session, of course, as a Formula 1 racing driver, Omi, and he's into the Parabolica now.
Into the Parabolica indeed for Franco Colapinto doing that. So, the driver from Argentina has the lap are going to be. It is going to be running the quick 3 for him. So coming into P3, Joe goes into 4th position, and Hamilton also making his way through right now on a lap as well.
Yeah, Hamilton is into Ascari now as he'll flick the car in his fastest of all in the 2nd sector, a 27.536 into the final few out of the Ascari chicane, down the backstretch as well towards it's very anti-Ascari, then down in towards the curve of Parabolica. 5th gear corner, down from 8th, drop down, 5th, back on the power, over 150, 160, 117, now you just don't take your foot off the throttle. Hamilton top, 121.641. Yeah,
absolutely is indeed.
Go on.
Yep, absolutely, he is indeed, as we watch George Russell just waiting for his car to be fully ready, and then he can head back out onto the circuit. Luckily, it's not a bigger shunt, or if he had to miss FP2, then that would have been even more dramatic for Mercedes.
Look at that. Lando Norris, first McLaren driver to win from pole position since Lewis Hamilton at Monza in 2012. That's quite a stat to come into it all. That race would be Austin, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Lando. Oh, okay. Well, Lando might get in trouble for that because he's just blocked one of the Saubers with, I think, Lance Stroll in the way in the braking zone down to turn 1. So that's never a good sign. Haas got fined this morning, $7,500. I think Nico Hulkenberg did for blocking the Sauber of Joe. Blocking, Joe Guanyu, yeah. Stupid session.
Indeed. Pepe Marti also received a fine for something of the similar for F2 practice.
Let's have a word. Hey, they finally flipped the image, but let's have a word with Bradley Lord.
Very nice to talk to you. Right, big rebuild. I always call you Bradders. Come on.
Thank you, Crofty.
Big rebuild over the course of the lunchtime. What needed replacing after the accident?
Quite a lot. We had to, standard practice anyway, you quarantine all the bits so they don't go back on the car after a big impact like that. So the guys have done a mega job to rebuild, and they're just putting the finishing touches to it. Cake tin's going on, and hopefully George will be out in the next 5 to 10 minutes is the plan. But yeah, big job.
And Bradley, I was watching the F2 qualifying. Kimi did a solid job there to get himself into contention. How's he feeling? Was presumably fairly apologetic when he came back to the pit garage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He went straight round and apologised to the mechanics for the extra work. Spoke to George as well and did the same. So yeah, obviously kicking himself and just frustrated at having missed out on the opportunity of getting the full hour in, and just having pushed a little bit too hard, a bit too soon.
So tell us, this weekend, after what was a disappointing Zandvoort, given what you'd done in the previous 3 races, or 4 races, are you back to being a bit nearer the front end or not?
We hope so, yeah. We did a load of work in the factory. We think we understand what was not quite gelling in Zandvoort. We're still doing the compares on the new spec, old spec floor to make sure we can rule that out and eliminate that as well. So, yeah, we hope we're going to be back a bit more at the sharp end, but, time will tell when everyone turns it up and takes the fuel out. So we don't know quite yet.
Thank you, Mr. Lord. We'll be back with you in a little while.
JT's just put on his Snapchat, burger, fries, beach, planes, better than editing any day. I've just replied to him, you're fired. Nah, he deserves a holiday. And I hope, Omi, you take a holiday after these when he gets back, so you get a couple of races off for him.
Well, next week is technically a holiday. Nothing going on.
That is... What? Sorry, say that again very quietly.
Well, wait, hold on. Well, there's no F1 action next week.
Yeah, but we've got IndyCar and NASCAR and MotoGP. Oh, maybe it's not free for me then. We haven't. Yeah,
not free. Yeah, not free for you. I can sit there in bed and watch you. So a holiday for me.
Do I even get a free week now? I don't think. We're coming to the time when surely there's now a free weekend somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be somewhere because, yeah.
NASCAR.
One of the F1.
Yeah.
F1's not on there, surely.
I'd happily at the moment take a NASCAR weekend off if there's nothing else on. So if there's literally nothing else on, I'll take a NASCAR off and I'll go somewhere. I'll go visit some friends. I'll go actually do things. Giampiero Lambesi, watching on, the head of race engineering for Red Bull. Also Max Verstappen. Oh, hang on, that's Gasly off. As Martin Brundle's down at turn 2.
Yeah, just watching an Alpine bump its way back on the track, and it's actually the first car I've seen since I've been down here that's made a mistake and gone over the sort of get out of jail free card in the middle, and there's another one about to join that in the Haas of Kevin Magnussen as well, kicks up the dust, that little bit of gravel to dissuade them. We saw the shenanigans you did of cars going straight on. So first chicane, reprofile, much smoother, curbs changed. Now the curbs are lowered here a long time ago because there was a horrible sports car accident where they get launched off the first curb and end up having a big shunt down here and getting involved with other cars who have already navigated their way around the chicane. We've got a little bit of that back. The only driver I saw this morning trying out that first curb was Lewis Hamilton. Whether they want to try and take it, we'll wait for a car to come along shortly. Whether they want to try to take that, and another lock-up. He does make the corner that's Colapinto. He does make the corner this time with a big lock-up. You wait so long down the pit straight before you hit the brakes. So what we're seeing here is a little bit of everything on low downforce settings. You need good braking. Downshift kind of looks after itself. It's almost subconscious. Then you need turn in, where the Sauber is slowly now, but handy. Then you need direction change. Then you need traction. You need rear grip on the way out of the corner. So you're looking for a little bit of everything, as I say, with the low wings. The Ferrari, nice enough through there. You could often see all the clever kinematics, geometry they have in the suspension to help the car tip in and control the roll and control the ride height of the car. Sometimes you can see it sort of fighting itself a bit on this second left-hander part. You can see the car bouncing around a little bit. Here's Max Verstappen, World Championship leader. Car changes direction nicely. A little bit of understeer. Sonoda and Albon coming through here as well now. A little bit of understeer there for Max. We saw the car just push at the front on the apex, and then 100% traction. I didn't hear any wheel spin at all as Max floored it and just kept pulling the upshifts coming out of here. So again, you want everything, and you've only just started the lap here. We'll just watch Leclerc through here when he rocks up, as we see Mattia Binotto, the former team principal at Ferrari, on the TV, and he's coming through very slowly indeed. Actually, is Charles Leclerc. Good chance to have a look at the Ferrari, but here we go. Alpine. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see the cars sort of moving and bouncing around within their sort of wheelbase, as Carlos Sainz gets a great big chair. Back to you, Crofty. We're going to move around the track.
Thanks, Martin. I think we just might come to you a few minutes too late there, because the drivers were finishing off their initial runs here. And I don't think it'll be long before we see some soft tyre runs. And Daniel Ricciardo's already been out on the soft tyres with a 1:21.8 to do his first, I would imagine, qualifying simulation, because as I said, the soft tyre wasn't used in the race at all last year.
It's a bit weird. He went out and then came back into the pits. It seems like he did a drive through the pit lane and has gone back out again, so slightly unconventional, unplanned there. Sainz has gone on the top of the times, Crofty, as you said, but 3.5 tenths.
Yeah, good stuff for him. Sainz, Norris, Verstappen. Sergio Perez, though, Omi, up on the jacks. Doesn't look like he's going to be going further in this session if he's got a problem that they had to take the floor off.
Well, it doesn't seem like his weekend is getting any better as well, and it's already putting him on the back foot, and he doesn't want to be on the back foot at all. And Charles Leclerc makes his way now out of the Parabolica towards the line for the Monegasque driver to begin a lap around this circuit.
Coffee Dixon says, hello guys, hello. Michelle says also, you can come visit Mauritius for a holiday. That sounds wonderful. I love that. Good beaches. I like a good beach with a nice ocean. And a nice city. I like a city, like old or new, just something.
Actually, I've just realised.
Yeah?
I've got PSGL next week. So.
You've got PSGL. Oh, so you don't have an holiday. See, this is...
Well, so my first holiday, I think my first holiday then will be when PSGL ends. I'll get one at some point in October.
Yeah, there's a break week for esports.
We have a massive F1 break in that.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing though, as we watch Leclerc through Lesmo 2 nearly send it off the track, I'm very much looking forward to, as Albon 5th, 1:21.77, that's a great time. I'm very much looking forward to December the 9th, where there's nothing else going on, and we can all have a lovely winter break for about a month. And then we can go back in January and go racing.
Well, what if they add the F1 sprint for the rookies in the middle?
A lovely December 11th.
Yes, absolutely. Leclerc finishing off the lap now as he comes towards the line. Let's see where it is compared to his teammate Carlos Sainz. Leclerc across the line. It's a 1:21.119 and he's a 10th up on his teammate.
Sainz has gone out ahead, so Leclerc is now going to settle in behind him and see which one of them gets the tow. I think Leclerc is going to tow Sainz around for a lap, and they'll have a comparison then of a non-tow lap and a tow lap. But considering Leclerc has just done that fastest time by a 10th and a half to Sainz, that's a very impressive time on those tyres. This is Charles Leclerc down at Della Rosia. We're not going to see it. That's annoying.
Well, it seemed like,
yeah.
Well, he did touch the grass there. That's
good.
what we did see.
Glad you saw it. I didn't. Let's hand it over then to BBC Radio 5 Live for all of the action with 45 minutes to go.
to just duck out of work on a Friday and go and watch your cars. And
Jenny!
The access at Monza is so amazing. You can see everything. You can even go under the tunnel and watch all the drivers arrive. It's a Friday. What a perfect Friday.
Have you ever been to the Tuscan coast?
Yes, a little bit.
I see your point. I see your point.
But if you're a Tifosi.
Oh, it's gone. We've got no BBC Radio 5. Why is everything breaking today? I'm seriously having a nightmare in this runaround, as I desperately want to hear what they have to say. So come on, Jenny Gower's talking. Here you go.
Because where we walk into the paddock, it's an absolute fight to get in because of the number of Tifosi standing there. And they put so much effort in, don't they? The T-shirts, the flags, everything that they get, the banners, everything they create. It's absolutely amazing. And you see when the Ferrari drivers arrive, and the noise is amazing. And actually, with Lewis Hamilton arriving as well now, they are really embracing him already, and he hasn't even joined yet. So he was saying in his Thursday press conference, he's starting to feel and understand what that's going to be like, because he was saying he's had the most incredible reception since he's arrived here. Just very quickly on Mercedes, because George Russell is still in the garage. This morning, when Antonelli had his crash, he was using the new updated floor, so obviously not great for Mercedes with the data, and Hamilton had the old floor. That is switching this afternoon, so Hamilton has the new floor on for this FP2 session, and Russell, if he finally gets out, will have the old one. And they said the reasoning for that was that they would get the most accurate read, so I guess their money was on Hamilton not crashing.
Very nice, yeah. I think that's probably the right call. It's interesting you talk about how the Tifosi is so now accepting of Hamilton. I watched in the build-up this week, part of my prep, the 2011 Italian Grand Prix. And partly because that's the one where Liuzzi literally smashes out half the field going into turn one, lap one. And Hamilton, I can't remember if he won it or got onto the podium, but he definitely was talking about being on the podium and how it was a shame that he was booed so much for being a McLaren driver, getting onto the podium at the Tifosi's home track. But how things, have gone since then for him. And now I think they literally see him as a Ferrari driver already. It's a shame for Carlos Sainz, because, as Sainz has said it, there's nothing wrong with their relationship at the moment, Sainz and Ferrari. But when there's a 7-time world champion on the market who wants to end his career at Ferrari, Sainz is the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I mean, there's two very different weekends for them, isn't it? Hamilton absolutely loving the environment that he's about to walk into. And it's funny because we're actually talking about the second Italian race this year. You could almost forget that Imola happened because this is very much the home race for Ferrari. Carlos Sainz is an excellent driver and would only really be replaced by Hamilton. And he was actually talking as well, wasn't he, on Thursday? He's sad to be leaving, and it's a difficult weekend for him, what he's saying goodbye to. But it's that Nigel Mansell always said it, didn't he? That once you're part of the Ferrari family, you're always part of the Ferrari family. And so they'll always embrace him. They'll always love Sainz. I mean, he learnt Italian. I remember talking to the head of comms at Ferrari, a lovely lady called Silvia, who said that did an interview with Carlos Sainz, and he said, I said, how's your Italian going? Oh, no, not very good, not very good. And at the end of the interview, Silvia said to me, he's fluent, and he learnt it in a few weeks. So he'll always be in Ferrari hearts, I'm sure.
Don't ever underestimate a driver's ability to learn a new language.
It's so fast. It's unbelievable. I know.
Nico Rosberg, 6 languages.
Yeah, and
fluently.
If you only speak one language in the paddock, you are very much in the minority.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen. Even Lewis Hamilton started to learn Italian.
You've got a bit of French in you, haven't you, Jen?
Absolutely. Canal Plus. That's my speciality. I mean, after the stroke, I don't know what French I've got. Exactly. And I just have to say, although everyone is Tifosi and wearing Ferrari stuff, there is one person in the stands, isn't there, Harry, that isn't wearing something to do with Ferrari.
Shout out to Paul Coulthard. I'm not sure if you're a relation or not, who has gone to Monza,
or David?
To DC. I'm not sure if you're a relation, you'd be in the grandstand.
It's the Harry's PR man, really.
Yeah. This guy is a big fan, clearly, of the BBC F1 commentary team, and he's had printed onto a shirt, eyes to the lights, foot to the floor, which I'm very chuffed with. I'm honoured, actually.
To coin a phrase, Harry, that's good. You should trademark that.
I think I need that. I think I need it trademarked, clearly. And clearly I need a merch design as well now. So I'm sure that'll be coming soon to your local branch of Well, I shouldn't say any names, should I? But that's exciting then. Thank you very much to Paul for that one.
To be fair, though, I think we need a merchandise supply, don't we, as well? We've already got a couple of things that have been done in, but the merch needs to happen. What do we have? Caps, mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, Hamiltons.
There's no one out here, mate. Got no toe. Yeah, copy that.
So we might...
Lewis Hamilton has... I don't think... if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Lewis Hamilton miss a toe as well? I swear I read that. He's actually missing a toe. I'm not actually sure, but I'm going to Google that. Lewis Hamilton toe. Hang on a minute. I'm just
Yeah, so...
It's a very niche thing to have there.
Yeah.
To Google, does Lewis Hamilton missing a toe? I'm going to put Lewis Hamilton missing toe. I swear I read it was some F1 driver who had a missing toe. No, I can't see anything there. I swear someone had a... If anyone knows watching, let us know on the YouTube chat or Twitch chat. Anything on the Twitch chat? No. They've been broken for ages. Right, George Russell looks like he's coming out. Wow, Kevin Magnussen has the most overtakes, 90. Stroll has 82. Hülkenberg 76, Ocon 72, Perez 64, Albon 63, Bottas 61, Hamilton 60, Gasly 59, Tsunoda 58. Why is it? Well, it just proves how much Max Verstappen and the top teams do overtaking. Kevin Magnussen's the most overtaker this year. Huh. Sure, it's got to be more than that. Red Bull are ready for... Is that Sergio Perez? Yes, it is. Perez is ready to head back out on the circuit now. Magnussen down into the Rettifiello. So, new front wing now going on, I believe, on Sergio Perez's car. New design as well here at Monza. I understand they're taking this session to change the era between the two. So, look at Perez's rear wing. It's slightly different to that of Max Verstappen.
Oh, team radio.
Losses on the lack of toe. Maybe a little bit to be found in turn 1-2. Here's someone laughing in the background.
I don't think it was a laugh. It sounded like a bit of garage equipment.
Yeah, it sounded like a gun, the wheel gun going like a woo-woo thing as well coming through. Lewis Hamilton clearly enjoying himself. That there's somebody laughing in the background of Mercedes. It's Toto Wolff probably laughing in the background. Kevin Magnussen watching on as well. Interesting that Albon and Tsunoda have been noted for impeding, which has come across.
Interesting.
Really hard doing the car. Oh, Magnussen twitch on entry into the parabolica again. I like how they put the gravel back there at the exit as well this year. It's really returned. It's a driver's track this now. Yeah, commentating with an ulcer is very difficult. But I will not say it is more difficult than what Jenny Gow is doing right now, which is commentating post-stroke. It's amazing what Jenny's done. Absolutely amazing. If this is painful for me right now, I can't imagine what the hell she's gone through. Absolutely love that woman.
Yeah.
So 32 years ago today, Michael Schumacher scored his maiden victory at the Belgian Grand Prix. That means it was 32 years ago today that Martin Brundle thought he could have won a Grand Prix. What's his radio?
I've got something moving around in my cockpit.
Okay, copy that. Whereabouts in the cockpit is it?
I think it's a nut, which is just going to my seat. So I think it's okay.
Yeah, you can...
So someone's left a nut in his car and it's gone underneath his seat, so it'll roll under. Won't provide too much pain for the short term, Omi, but long term that could like hit a nerve and just cut off some supply as well. It's never nice to have that rattling around.
Yeah, absolutely never nice indeed. As we have under 35 minutes to go on the clock. Bottas pushing on right now, and he is just over 2/10 off the effort of Lando Norris on those soft compound of tyres now. Cars absolutely everywhere. at the end of the lap. But yeah, what was your opinions on the Formula 3 qualifying format then? Yeah, as we haven't heard it on air yet.
From what I saw, because I was doing the MotoGP from hell, where again Megan's laptop doesn't work, so we're having to reorganise everything now to make sure that I can do it in this box while Obi takes everything else. Okay, didn't like it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work. Tiffany Cromwell there. What's on the guys? It didn't work. It needs to be. It needs to be longer and more thought out.
Absolutely. But yeah, the reorganising for the weekend might make it better, at least for the rest of it, as well. A little stress everywhere. Hopefully, we hope. So Leclerc pushing on them. So is Lewis Hamilton as we get the soft laps coming in. They are both behind Lando Norris there, Verstappen as well making his way through. And Leclerc now makes his way out of the parabolica, is about to come across the line. Ricciardo goes to 7th position. And now Leclerc is next over the line in the Scarlet Ferrari. He improves his time, but doesn't improve his place. He's still in P3. And Hamilton will be coming over the line very, very shortly as well. And Hamilton now goes to the top by 0.003 of a second.
1:27.38. Remarkable time there for Lewis Hamilton as Carlos Sainz comes across the line, goes up to 3rd place, 1:20.842. Albon goes 12th. Verstappen's backed out of a lap time. Colapinto's gone through to 15th, 1:21.784. I had to wait for that one because it wouldn't load up on the monitor that we were looking at up in the box. Max backs off though. This is what we're going to have to be watching in qualifying tomorrow. I mean, you've seen the F2 and F3 qualies, and you'll be doing the Porsche as well. You've done all the Support Series qualies this weekend. But it's this problem, lifting off down to turn 1, is that bat wing. I'm going to call it the bat wing. That's what it is, it's the bat wing. Doesn't look good on the back of the Red Bull.
It absolutely doesn't. Let's take a look at the replay of Verstappen. We were waiting for him to come across the line, seeing what lap he could have done. Bit of a twitch, and they've all been struggling through this part of the lap, haven't they?
Yeah, Antonelli's going to feel better. That Max even made a mistake there as well. There's something on the entrance to the Parabolica with this new tarmac. There's a bump that's forming. It just unsettles the car and drifts you off the circuit. So, yeah, definitely not going to be that good going forward.
Quite a few bumps throughout as well. Bortoletto, of course, was in the gravel. He also hit a bump, which sent him round, and that meant that he was out of the qualifying session. Huge blows to his championship hopes, as he's in 2nd, 36 points behind.
Hamilton watching on. Let's hear from him on the radio.
Yeah, lowest in turn 1 now. Yeah, could be late. Seats so hot, mate. Okay, roger.
Air temperature is 34.1 degrees, track temperature 46.8. What we've effectively got, Omi, is Malaysia weather out there in Italy right now. It is scorching hot with a heat wave.
It is absolutely boiling. Also, this new surface as well, causing all sorts for these drivers and teams to contend with this weekend as well. And I still need to look at the Porsche Super Cup entry list for this weekend. I'll get the practice results sent to me, so I can quickly take a look.
Interesting. I've just been told in my ears that the commentary box that they have this week, the new commentary boxes they have this weekend, which are opposite the start-finish straight, are actually the ones from Albert Park in Australia.
Oh.
Interesting.
Nice.
So they're, and they've just dotted them. So that's interesting. I always prefer a commentary box with a view of the start, but still.
My seat feels very hot.
This is George. Get the same reports from Lewis.
Lewis said this morning. Didn't he just have to practice one? He had a hot bum.
Interesting. Lots of hot seats.
Now, are the cars overheating because of the temperature?
Seems like it. It absolutely could be, with how hot it is. It was very hot yesterday.
Yeah, it was. And it's going to get hotter throughout the weekend. Track temperature is going to be in the 50s on Sunday. It's 47.3 at the moment, and rising. Track temperature is. This is the weather at the moment. Yellow flag, sector 2. Kevin Magnussen is off at Lesmo 2, and he's in the gravel trap.
Oh.
Is he backwards? Has he touched the wall? Not too sure yet. We've got a cloud of smoke. He's into the barrier, so he's gone straight off into it. Red flag is going to have to come out for this one. So it is now out. Red flag. Magnussen says, I'm okay. And he's taken off the front right suspension. He's into the barrier as well, Omi.
Indeed. So into the barrier. That'll be some work for the Haas team to do as well. And they're going to have to repair that car. But Kevin Magnussen into the wall. And we're going to have to see how he has managed that one then. They're all trying to find the limits. Magnussen has found it. Red flag flying then. We're 30 minutes now, 29 minutes to go on the clock. And we're about to find out how he did it.
Lesmo 2 will be the answer, Omi. Snap, snap. Spins it.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a silly mistake, but it's easily done on this new tarmac. Exactly what we were talking about before. Talk us through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very easily done on this tarmac as well. They're all facing a lot of challenges across across the different series this weekend. And annoyingly for Porsche, now they've run too wide. They're into the gravel parts.
I remember Mika Hakkinen crashing there in a qualifying session, I believe in 2001. I might be mistaken there, but I remember walking upstairs. Let's see if we can answer.
What's the situation, Kev? I'm in the wall. Sorry. Copy.
Yeah, I remember walking upstairs into Mum and Dad's bedroom. Dad was sat on the bed, and he was doing the money because he's a taxi driver. Well, he was a taxi driver, so he was doing the money and working out how much he'd earn in the week and all that. So he used to have this amazing system where he would get he'd get his bag and he'd put it on, and then he'd have 5s in one, 10s in one, 20s in one as well, 50, all the coins in one as well, all in nice little neat piles, and he'd count it up individually and then add it all together and work out payments and everything. Fantastically done. But I remember walking upstairs and going into the room, and they had the television on, and I remember it was Monza. I remember seeing the McLaren sideways on the track, and Dad saying it was Hakkinen. So it was 2001, but I remember that. I must have been 3 at the time, but I think that must be my earliest F1 memory, if I'm not mistaken. It could be earlier. I remember Hakkinen stopping in Spain, so yeah. But I remember the McLaren sideways on the track. So yeah. Anyway, red flag's out. What's your earliest F1 memory, actually, Amy?
Oh no, and I don't even remember. Well, I don't even know what it is.
It's weird.
I've looked back at because I've looked back at a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether I watched it live or not.
It's hard to remember. And Megan, I think remembers. I think she said it was Malaysia one year, so that's helpful. But yeah. Oh, memory lane, isn't it? Anyway, let's head back to BBC Radio 5 Live. Red flag's out with Magnussen in the wall.
In free practice session, a red flag currently for Kevin Magnussen Haas, who's just found the wall. It's Lewis Hamilton, who currently is the fastest ahead of Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, expecting McLaren to be strong once again. But it's Red Bull at the moment who seem to be on the back foot. Just a quick interlude there to 5 Live Sports.
Save your skin.
I nearly said after an incident he couldn't prevent. Kevin Magnussen has found the wall and is currently in the barriers, and that is the reason for the red flag. But the clock continues to count down, so that's a shame for Haas. 1 driver down for FP2, and did Haas bring... I don't think they brought anything spectacular this weekend. They did bring some front suspension, actually, did Haas, as a performance gain. So that might have taken a little bit of damage from Magnussen finding the wall there. But everybody then back into the garage. Good timing for both Mercedes drivers, so they can take a look at why those seats are so hot.
That's true, but George Russell is down on running time. He lost a lot when Kimi Antonelli crashed in FP1 and they couldn't get the car out at the beginning of FP2, so he's down on time. Also, Sergio Perez is down on time. They haven't done as many laps as everyone else, just 3 laps for Perez, 6 laps for Russell. And this red flag clock's still counting down. Can be costly for them. It could also be costly for Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, well, obviously with Perez, but they're both at 13th and 14th at the moment, which isn't, I think, where Red Bull would like to be at the moment. They have done medium running, but...
Yeah, but I mean, Andrew Benson, BBC F1 correspondent, this is, as Jenny said, bad news for the likes of George Russell.
It is bad news for Russell, yeah. He's lost an entire morning, obviously, with Antonelli, and then he's lost about 24 minutes of this, so now he's losing more time. So on this heat thing with Mercedes, basically, it happens quite often with Formula 1 cars. A lot of electrical components are packed around the It's obviously it's quite hard to get everything in the right place in a Formula 1 car. There's not a lot of room. That's where they tend to put that stuff. And sometimes it overheats, especially when it's 32 degrees, which it is here at Monza at the moment. And so I'm not surprised that the Mercedes drivers are struggling a bit with the heat. But I'm sure the team will be able to find a way to sort that out in time for tomorrow, hopefully.
Let's hope. Thank you, Andrew. The red flag continues to be out while Kevin Magnussen's Haas is recovered. So for the likes of George Russell, indeed for Sergio Perez, who are down on track time in this session, Magnussen is just working out how to get back to the paddock, currently talking to some of the marshals. But he's...
Yep, and let's head back then over to Sky Sports F1, check in latest.
Hope the rear of the car's going to stake, and it didn't. Quite clearly the grip wasn't there. And the barrier is not very far away from the edge of the track, unfortunately for him.
It's not, is it? And the gravel is not very far away from the edge of the track either. And I know we like gravel traps,
yep.
But one of the things that you get by having the gravel so close is a lot of gravel coming back out onto the track again if someone has a brief moment off. And I've seen it quite a bit here today, actually, with a lot of gravel either side of the track.
I'm in the wall. Sorry.
Yeah, but we can't have everything, can we? And I much prefer having gravel there as a natural deterrent rather than have laps deleted for track limits afterwards. So I'm sure Kevin Magnussen would have probably hoped there wasn't a gravel trap there and loads of tarmac, but you know, it's the challenge of having gravel on the edge of the track is so much better for the sport.
No, I totally agree with you on that one. That's the view on board with Kevin Magnussen and Max Verstappen studying the data back in the garage. Verstappen, who had to abort his lap with a moment at Parabolica, and he chose to back out of it and then do a couple of cool-down laps and then go again. And sadly, during that time, we had the red flag, and that was the end of that. So they'll be hoping, I'm sure, the teams, that we get this track properly cleared in the next couple of minutes, and then they can get on with the race simulations. Meanwhile, Ted Kravitz is free to wander and roam wherever he chooses.
This gives us a great opportunity. Should we have a look at how the fastest car in Zandvoort is hoping they got a bit faster? So there are 3 upgrades on the McLaren this weekend. They've got a new brake scoop. Now they call it the front corner. It's to actually maximize brake cooling here at Monza. It is kind of circuit specific, but they can use it at other circuits to maximize the brake cooling, but trade off as little aerodynamic losses as possible. The second change is to the front flap. That's also circuit specific to give as low a drag front flap as possible. But there's a change to the side pod as well. There's a F1 TV cameraman just in the way there, but you can see the kind of thing that I mean. It's particularly, actually, we can see with the downwash, the slope, Crofty, to the rear suspension, and that's been accentuated. It's really all about adding downforce at the rear. That's what this new side pod, McLaren say, the intention is behind that particular upgrade. So yeah, nice work. The 3 upgrades down here at McLaren. Something I did notice watching on the TV from Zandvoort is the Kindle, basically. The 2 Kindles, Amazon Kindles, there are other electronic reading devices available, that Oscar and Lando have either side of them. It's the changeable logo device. It's a gift for the sponsors. They can rotate the sponsors' logos either side. But it did strike me while you're on board with Lando or Oscar and just watching it change, it's just like a couple of Kindles they put in there.
I had a few people get in touch via the social media to ask about that, actually, because while we were on board it did change. But that's nothing new. They've been doing that for most of the season, haven't they?
I know, but it is eye-catching, and the way it changes is just like when you change pages on your electronic reading device. Sorry, I think I've said the brown word enough.
I wouldn't know, Ted. I got this I like a book.
You like a thing, you like a book. Look, now we can see it. Now, Oscar, now the covers have come off, and we can see the electronic reading device, which rotates. Oh, you can't. Which rotates sponsors' logos on the side of the. There you go. It just changed on the side of the McLaren. Very nice.
Love it. Thank you, Ted. Session will resume in a minute and a half. So that's why the cars are all going to the end of the pit lane, and that looked like an Alpine getting in the way of one of the McLarens. And I think it was Lando Norris who got a little bit hampered there, and it was Esteban Ocon who made his way out of the garage. And I dare say that might get noted by race control, because Lando had to stop pretty sharpish.
Yeah, again, in practice, they take a slightly more lenient view on these things, don't they?
They do, but just to say, by the way, in the race director's event notes, it does say here in Monza for the rest of the weekend that if we get a red flag and the session gets stopped, nobody's allowed to come out of the pits and wait at the end of the pit lane until race control give an okay to go. And in Zandvoort, I think we actually had a situation where we didn't get a definitive restart time, and drivers were already coming out to queue at the end of the pit lane. So that might have been tightened up a bit by race control after Zandvoort.
Well,
whether it makes any difference to the way the weekends run, I don't know. But you know what it's like here, Karun. You want to get out and get yourself some good track position if you can.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys now, as you said, they are switching to the race prep, aren't they? So medium tyres on Piastri's car. I think the Red Bull at the front of the queue was still on soft. So
I think so too. Green light goes on, back underway for this session. So they're going to head out into the track. He was on softs. Yeah, Perez is on softs. Everyone else is like they're going back out there on mediums. Spree did K-Mag crash? Yes. Lost the rear coming into Lesmo 2. Spun around in the gravel, hit the barrier, knocked off the front left suspension. So that's why he's out of it. But the red flag is now lifted and we are back underway. Red flag was out for 12 minutes in total. And now with 17 to go, we're seeing George Russell around the outside, side by side with Sergio Perez. Russell has the inside line down to Dalla Rossi and gets ahead of Checo. So already they're fighting for position. But qualifying, just going to be as crucial tomorrow.
Cars couldn't behave themselves. Let's see how F1 are going to manage over qualifying. 22 F2 cars didn't really do good. They had their own little chaos.
They did. Oh, did they?
Yeah. We'll see how Porsches get on. But if they run wide, they're into the gravel. They love creating their own racing lines. So they're going to struggle now with the extra gravels that we've got at places.
Their practice sessions after this session, isn't it? So, yeah. Well, they're out last of the day. Porsches never run at the same time, ever. It's quite bad for them.
Yeah, qualifying is sometimes at the end of the day, or right between F3 sprint and FP3. So, yeah.
I've just looked down at my phone to see my mama's text saying morning. It's 16:43. 5:43 over there in Berlin, where she is. Yeah. Something tells me she hasn't had data. It's all come through at once. Everyone on that bar K-Mag. Well, actually, a few of them not. No, everyone bar K-Mag. Okay. 19 of the 20 cars are out on the circuit then.
Quite a busy circuit then. Right, now on the racetrack as well. But for F3, Josh, we've got Tisana pulling to Puvak provisionally on pole position.
Oh, God. Sprint race, mind. I hope. I really hope sprint race, otherwise what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well that's going to... Why do we need a 7:30 AM wake-up call, by the way? For the final race of the season, who thought, yeah, let's make it so early in the morning that no one's going to turn up? Idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, Hamilton radio.
Seat's got really hot again. Bottom of the seat.
Okay, copy.
Yeah, which are kind of putting a bit of...
Just to get more publicity, to be fair.
Yes. That is true.
That's the closest to F1.
Perez 14th only. 121. Why is Perez still in Formula 1? I mean, Max is 13th in this session, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Let's go down to Martin, down at the exit of Ascari.
The area the drivers have complained about that they weren't consulted before it was changed. A wonderful chicane. You turn up well over 200 miles an hour. It's a left, a long right, and then a left through the exit. Minimum speed there, 145 miles an hour, around 230 kilometers per hour. So what they've done is they've taken away the bumps on the way in, as you see the Williams turn up there. And the curb on the left-hand side on the way in has always been like a scary north face of the Eiger type curb that you could climb over, but you had to prepare your car for it. Well, that's gone. And then what we used to have are two really high curbs through the middle where you see the Sauber now. And you had to thread the eye of a needle, and the truly great drivers could keep it pinned and were accurate enough to stay between those two rather nasty curbs. And then the exit was just really bumpy and a little bit scary. They've smoothed that out, but what we're seeing now is just tremendous speed through here. The cars look very well. They're carrying enough downforce as we see Max Verstappen piling on the power on his medium compound tyres. And through the exit, you see the cars hitting the ground a lot on the way in, on the way out. And I suspect that's what's getting to the Mercedes drivers, is the friction rubbing on the floor, the skid blocks rubbing underneath them, generating some incredible heat that tends to come up through your backside, is what I'm imagining they're talking about. Both Aston Martin flowing through here gloriously, kicking up a little bit of dust here and there. The track to me looks like it's cleaning up nicely, but it's no longer threading the eye of a needle, but they're certainly pouring the power on the way through this corner. So looks good, but I can understand why the drivers feel a little bit cheated that one of the original, it's a bit too sanitized, one of the original challengers has gone. The original challenge none of them will know about is in the middle of this gravel trap. It used to be a massive tree with a barrier around it. Now that was a proper challenge on the way in there, but back to you, Crofty.
Yeah, thank you, Martin.
Martin, very good indeed. What would you prefer? More power or more threading through the eye of the needle?
The latter. I agree, Martin. There used to be like this little drain on the inside of that curb, and if you could use a little bit to help rotate the car, but if you went just a few millimeters too far, you'd have the snap of oversteer. So that was such a great challenge at Ascari.
I will agree with Karun there. I think my entire my favourite part of the track, we're back in the box now, I love Ascari. I think that is one of my favourite corners. I mean, you must find it when you play on F1 as well. You get down to Ascari, and when you flick the car just right, it feels amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then getting back on the power is just fantastic. Going through Ascari, whether it is on F124, whether it's on Assetto Corsa, wherever it is, it's always fun.
Yeah, and speaking of Assetto Corsa, Omi has done a lap of the Porsches, and you'll be able to see that in the shows this weekend as well. I guess that you'll show it just after the intro, something like that, or somewhere around. But yeah, so a lap attack of the Porsches that Omi's done on Assetto Corsa as well. We have for you this weekend as well coverage of the Porsche qualifying. It's not live because we've got the ability to do it live, but Omi is going to commentate on it. We're going to premiere it, and it'll be it'll be watched on Saturday on JBMotorsports as well. So it'll be uploaded and premiered.
That will be hopefully a good qualifying session. Want a bit less red flags though, with how Formula 2 and Formula 3 have been today as well. Leclerc now making his way towards the Ascari chicane. We talked about how good the Ascari chicane is. Always fun for these drivers, and Leclerc navigates his way through and heading towards the final corner on this circuit, the Parabolic.
Yeah, I did. I was at a game convention a couple of years ago. I say a couple of years ago, long years ago now. And they had a steering wheel, and it was a full force feedback one. So I hopped in saying, "Hey, I'll be fine, I can brake." Hit the brake to get through on Monza into turn one, The brake didn't break, and the car didn't turn. It was like, I could not get it done. So I was giving it all before. Yeah, I can do it. No problem, no problem. Straight on, into the wall. Could not stop it. Most embarrassed I've ever been.
You did a Vettel?
I did a Vettel, yeah. I was so annoyed. Yeah, that was not great. I need a lot more practice. But the problem is, if I had a force feedback wheel now, I've got nowhere. I'll need a proper rig, because if I attach it to the commentary box table, the commentary box table will just disintegrate. It would not work. We're trying. We're not sure if it's possible yet. It might be done tomorrow, if not post-weekend. But we want to have a lap up Monza at the old banking. Get some cars out there. Get out there and have a look on the virtual lap of what it all used to look like.
Yeah.
Piastri, 127. So this is the current race pace. Piastri and the two McLarens fastest. Piastri 124.7. Norris 124.9, same as Sainz. Leclerc 125, same as Verstappen. Hamilton is a full second off the pace of Piastri on race pace data, but it's Ferrari second fastest from McLaren, top at the moment. But Hamilton has overall lap pace. Huh.
Yeah. Interesting stuff there. But yeah, I can drive the banking as well on a set of course.
Something tells me that Omi's going to do it, because if I do it, I have to use R factor and attach everything, and that's just being an absolute pain in the behind at the moment.
Yeah.
Thing is though, I think I can get a Seto Corsa, can't I, on the PlayStation?
Yes, but I don't know if you can install mods though.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah, because I've even got F1 Academy and literally everything. I've got Freca, I've got everything.
Why do I always ask Jess to do a lap attack? I should just ask you.
Oh. And also I can put it on AI mode as well.
Oh my
so the
god.
AI, I can put it on AI mode. The AI can do the laps. I don't even need to do it because I'm bad at driving.
Damn. I'm just looking to see if we've got any new tracks coming this year. No. Omi might become very useful soon. We're gonna lock Omi in a simulator and tell him to do all these lap attacks. Lap attack might be changing for next year anyway. We're going to try and get some esport drivers to record the laps for us as well, and do some commentary for us on it. So a bit like how the touring cars, the pole lap is always voiced by someone, because I love doing them, but they're a pain in the behind. As you found out, Omi.
Yeah, they absolutely are. As we take a look at a replay, picture-in-picture for Joe.
Is he locked up? Yes. He's done it me. That's exactly what I did. Get down to the first corner. Nothing.
Did he just straight line the ball out?
Yeah. I hit the brake and he didn't brake. And I thought, no, I'm just going straight. Burt Myland did it. That's what I did. Burt Myland did it. That Aston Martin, by the way, I got told at the break, has been completely written off. It can't be used again. So
the window glass was a bit shattered as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big crash. To shatter that.
It could have been worse had Burt Myland used his skill.
Yeah. If that was an inexperienced safety car driver. And no, Logan Sargent wasn't driving. He's not become the new safety car driver. I think Logan's here actually this weekend. I still think he's here. Yeah. As of now, I think he's the third driver, isn't he? So I think he'll be here. There's Verstappen, Tsunoda behind with these virtual heads-up graphics. Which I must admit, I didn't like to begin with. But I do like when we're in a battle, we can't tell who the hell's who. That works. Because it's basically just looking at the driver tracker. It's fine. Yeah, Yuki is looking good right now.
I need to head off as well in a second.
Oh, right, yes. Do you need to go now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Omi. Take care. See you soon. Thank
no
you for
worries.
today.
Make sure you send the JSON files.
I will.
Everything. If you don't, what time do you want me to remind you?
Remind me at 6 o'clock if I have not sent them by 5:45.
Okay, you'll get spammed then.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Omi. Thank you for today. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Let's go down to Ted.
Mattia Spinney is...
Oh, no Ted there, as I thought he was going to pop on. Oh, this is an unusual situation, folks. I'm being left alone in the commentary box. Whose idiot idea was this? It never ends well for the chicken. So just getting the blog up. Yuka Tsunoda out of the last corner. Gives it the welly up towards the line. He's down on sector times, remember, but what's his race pace time? It's a 1:27 point. Time really trying to find you here. So now it was a 1:27.463. So way off the pace of everything at the moment on the Delta times. Max Verstappen down Dalla Roggia chicane. Locks up and goes straight on. Even Max having problems out here on the circuit, it seems. As Omi's stepped away, he's got to go to all the commitments. Christian Horner watching on. The CEO and team principal of Red Bull. Puts Omi... Oh, hang on, someone's locked up there. Now we've got Russell, Leclerc, Bottas. All in that little area. And someone locked someone straight through. Dalla Roggia again. Sort of puff of smoke. George Russell's 20th at the moment. Only completed 16 laps in this session. 14 on the medium, 1 now on the soft. So he's going to go for a quick run now. Turn 4 incident involving Verstappen has been noted for failing to follow the race director's instructions on escape road instructions. So that's, he must not have gone to the left of the bollard, or sorry, to the right of the bollard and rejoined in that way. George Russell into the parabolica, puts pedal down, up towards the line, and is it a faster time then for Russell? 6th fastest, 1:21.086 on his qualifying run at the moment. So it's Hamilton who looks to top this one. Max down in 14th and 15th place. They did do a run on the softs, but they've committed to race pace, to which still they're not fastest. It's a scary prospect, isn't it, what we've got coming up here this weekend, as to who could change what, where, when and how. Let's take a look at Perez. Under braking, turns in, locks the front. That's down at the Letterfilio, locks the inside front right. Under braking, that was 2 minutes and 40 seconds ago that he locked up, judging by the replay that we've seen on our cameras here. And that Red Bull looks a bit messy now at the back as well. The halo, the engine cover has ballooned massively at the side. And Alonso, there it was Alonso with the puff of blue smoke there for a few laps ago. And Hamilton too has been off at turn 4 and is noted for failing to follow the race director's instructions on the escape road. And Alonso must be too, because he didn't go through the bollard either. So that's Hamilton, Verstappen and Alonso who haven't gone through the bollard. Yeah, there's Alonso now, flashing up on the timing screen, as I said to you. So, multiple incidents out there at the moment, as we have about a minute to go in this session. Esteban Ocon following Carlos Sainz underneath the oval part of the circuit towards the Ascari chicane. 2.9 seconds down, so this is very much just a build lap. They're just staying out there now, ready to do some practice starts. Track temperature, by the way, it's coming up on 6 o'clock here in Monza. Track temperature is at 45.5 degrees, air temperature 34.1, and it's been consistent throughout the day, and it's getting hotter going into tomorrow and Sunday. Sunday is about going to be 50 degrees track temperature, air temperature at a high of 40. Really going to rock it. 25 seconds left. Turn 4 is involving Joe Granu, also noted, same thing, failing to follow race director's instructions and going straight on the circuit. So numerous drivers having issues. Lando Norris coming into Parabolica, just keeping an eye on things. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Checker flag's out. Lando will be the first to take said checkered flag. ends the session second fastest by 0.003 of a second to Lewis Hamilton. A 10th back is Carlos Sainz in third. Piastri fourth and Leclerc fifth. The drivers now all settled down and everybody bar Kevin Magnussen out of the track now. So 19 cars will take the warm-up lap and the practice start procedure. This is Lewis Hamilton and his incident down in Dall'Origlia. Front left, locks up, oversteers and jumps out of making your way into the corner. Thing is though, you can't, there's no bollard there. So you can't actually see when you lock up where you're supposed to go. So it's just cutting the track. It's not like you braked early into the corner to go onto the escape road. You can't rejoin that escape road easily. So I think they might be a bit lenient with those four there. Hamilton the fastest. Max did his fastest time on the let's just hear from Crofty quick.
Okay, yeah, that he could have done, you're right.
And I think that would have satisfied race control on that. Not that I'm expecting it to be a big issue. It's practice, and I don't think it will be. Verstappen a 1:26.7 for his last lap. The last lap for George Russell was a 1:26.2. There were still a few in the 1:25s, but I'm just... and Tsunoda was a 1:26.6, but there were some that had gone and changed onto the soft compound tyres as well. We'll crunch the numbers overnight and report back tomorrow. But Lewis Hamilton, the fastest time overall.
The seat is so hot. Yeah, copy that. We'll have a good look around it this evening.
In a flame-proof cushion to sit on.
Remember, back in the day, when drivers had this issue, they'd come for a pit stop, somebody would throw a bucket of ice water over them or something like that to try and cool. No, Nigel Mansell, I remember famously, in Dallas or something?
84, yeah.
Had to throw some cold ice water on him just to cool him down at the pit stop.
Don't mention Dallas. Martin Brundle does not like remembering that race that much. So they're all slowly coming round to the grid. You can see them all on the driver tracker lining up in position. Okay. So, Franco Colapinto lines up on pole position. Let's listen to his start. Not bad. First phase was okay. Second phase on the dirty side. Needs some work. That's not bad, actually. Very good lap time there from Franco Colapinto. Practice starts now appearing. It's 5:03 here in the UK, 6:03 over there in wonderful Monza. Sergio Perez now lining up optimistically on pole position. Let's hear from George Russell.
We'll haven't.
Thanks for fixing my car between the sessions, guys. My seat is still exceptionally hot. For whatever reason.
Yeah, understood.
George Russell's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. It's revving up to a practice start. Lines up on the grid then. Russell ended 6th fast in that session. Selects it down. 13th RPM for the clutch by 0.5. Brings it up on about 10,000, 11,000 RPM. Which is by 0.5. So 3,000, 4,000, idle, brings it up to 9,000 RPM, drops the clutch and away. So Russell only starts at 9,000 RPM. Usually you bring it to 10, 11,000. That's going to be interesting come the race on Sunday. Here's your times then from practice 2 for the Italian Grand Prix. Lando Norris, 2nd fastest. Carlos Sainz, 3rd fastest. Lewis Hamilton, numero uno at the track, is won out the same amount of times as Michael Schumacher. Oscar Piastri 4th, Charles Leclerc 5th, George Russell is 6th, Nico Hülkenberg is 7th, Danny Ricciardo 8th, Fernando Alonso 9th, and Lance Stroll rounds out the top 10. Valtteri Bottas is 11th with Kevin Magnussen in 12th, 13th for Alexander Albon, 14th and 15th for Verstappen and Perez, 16th Tsunoda, 17th Colapinto, 18th Gasly, 19th Ocon, and 20th for Zhou Guanyu, 1.4 seconds down on the overall pace. Well, an interesting session here in Monza as well. My thanks to Megan and Omi for all their work today as well. It's Lewis Hamilton who tops the session. Coming up later here on JB Motorsports, we've got IndyCar, a 2.5-hour practice session. That's 8:30 British Summer Time until 11. Tomorrow, all the action, 8:30 in the morning for Formula 3 and their sprint race. Lewis Hamilton tops Friday here at wonderful Monza. We'll see you then for the action tomorrow. Bye-bye.